Welcome to the 1959-1960 season as we're here with NR2003, as we're here first with the 1959 Gwyn Staley 160. Even though these are not completely correct 1959 cars, they are the right drivers, most of them at least, and a couple of them schemes are correct, and mostly correct. Like, there is definitely some schemes where it's just so close to being perfect for that year, like Red Rickosham's car, that 64 car, even Curtis Turner's car, I would think, Ken Johnson's car too. There's a lot of schemes, but we're here for 75 laps. It was supposed to be 80, but I couldn't get the 80 for some reason. It would go 25, 50, 50, or 75, 100 instead of 80, like 10s, you know. So I had to do 75 laps, so it's 5 laps shorter than I wanted to, but it didn't really affect me. This almost did, though. We got inside of Joey Johnson, and then we just got together. You know, got hit by, it was Curtis, and we almost flipped over because of that, but luckily, Red Ricochet kept us upright and sacrificed his fuel tank. And somehow we didn't get any engine damage, so we decided just to keep going to see where we could place in that. We were so close to getting roof damage from that wreck too. That would classify as a flip for me because it was past the. It was almost exactly past. It was literally on the A post. But the car is so fast. It's a lot. It definitely torn up, that's for sure, but if anything, it was faster that way. With the rear end taken off of it. It's kind of it was just like Bristol cars that had the rear end taken off of it. And he was able to win with those, so I just kept going with it. Here we are on lap 22, or 27th, as we're right behind Johnny Beauchamp and the 2-car Possum Jones. See Joe Lee Johnson there, we just wrecked with. They got Fred Lindsay, Fred Herb, who would have been in that race. Just not the same scheme, or been in the series, I would say, or better said. By Johnny Allen there is, you can see the car is perfectly fine. It's just very damaged. That's the only difference from this. The car acts fine, it drives fine. I'm able to get by pretty easily, as you see me save it off of turn 4. Almost as bad, right in front of GC Spencer there, behind Bob Wellborn. Then you got Curtis Kreiner there. Now we're in 4th, right in front of Junior. Well, we got past Junior Johnson, so now we're in 3rd. Now we only have Ned Jarrett and Lee Petty to get by. Which Ned Jarrett would have been in a 38 car, not in the 11, but he still would have raced. He would have actually raced this race. Ooh, look, it became very loose there, and then we're going to tap the wall off of 4 there. Then we're going to move 4 laps ahead of time, where Lee Petty pits. I stay out for, I think, 2 or 3 laps. And I think that's really what won me the race, was the fact that I stayed out just a little bit longer, risking a blown tire, because tires really wear on this Northfield Spur, which is what I like, because that means that the cars are not just, you know, not wearing whatsoever. You know, so we just took more fuel than we needed, just so we could be safe about it, and also we're taking 4 tires, so why just do like half a can when you could do 4 cans, or 2 cans, while taking the 4 tires and come out about the same amount of time? As you can see us here as we come over to the pit lane. We do get a little repairs for the front end and like the side after we hit the walls a couple times. Now we go underway. We do come out in second, but then we eventually just take it back after that. And then just drive away from Lee Petty. And then nothing really happens after this clip, as you see Lee Petty there in second. Now Richard Petty's a lap down, which was, I actually didn't notice until I was done racing this race. I thought he was on the lead lap, but he wasn't. I'm right behind Bob Wheelborn as we're trying to get around him as he's going to go to the inside of Tommy Irwin, or Buddy Baker. And we almost had a caution there. They kept it going, but then this next incident caused us to go under caution, or in under caution, as we got loose off 4. Then we went into 1, thought we were clear, and then we accidentally clipped Shep Langhorn, or Langdon, and slammed him into the wall, almost slipped over. And then we come through the caution flag to win the Gwyn Staley 160. As you see the results there. As you see your last place finisher Bob Burdick and Con Owens, Rev Rickersham. Now we move on to the ARCA race at Williams Grove for 59 as well. This is the last 59 race, and then we go to the singular 1960 race. Go down to number turns 1 and 2 for the first time for 50 laps here. Half of what it would have been in real life. It would have been a higher lapper. Then we get around Andrew Matthews and Paul Goldsmith. Then we go on to lap 12. That's where this car was this car almost made it through fine. As you can tell, we were using the same car. We also used the same car for the Empire State 200. As this is a car that we're going to drive until we get a ride with blank for the 61 Daytona 500, which is our last race before the rest of the lost footage stuff. And now we're up to second as we're trying to get around Emmanuel Zikras. Zverkis. I still don't remember how to pronounce his name. We got Daryl Derringer right behind us. But we do eventually get around the outside, and we make it almost work there off of 2 for the first time, and then I think we make it work the next lap around, or on this corner. It was this corner. And there we go, and lead that lap, and then we go down turn 1, and we clear him right there, and then we kind of set sail until we go to the first caution, which is from Jim Hurdybeast, blown up on the apron, or the bottom of the racetrack, and causing a caution. And that what screwed me, because I decided to come down pit road with the cars in front of us, so now we fall back to second, as we have Darren Danger there in the lead now. Take it back in turn 1, using all these lap cars as a pick, so we were able to make a bye. Then we almost wrecked Sao Tuvela, but we don't. And we keep it all straight. But we do accidentally wreck somebody here in this next clip, I think. When we make a 3 wide move, then we get in front of Joe Rostick. And this is what happened. We accidentally churned the red Kegels, and then that went the red Farmer caused a big one down the back straight away. And that caused us another caution, and then we got pushed up by Frank there in the 36. That made us lose momentum as we got very loose and got sideways, and made us fall back to third. And then for this restart, we had such a chance to win that we could not make it. It was just not good. As we make it through turn one and we do a massive slide job, just does not work. And then we come to the last lap here when we switch over. Now we're on the last lap. 3-car battle. We go and get the white flag, go down to turn one, trying to get around Bill Wimble. See a lap car there. And then we go down to turn number 3, and then we try to make a move, and then Emmanuel just dumps us going into 3 and wrecks us and gets AJ Floyd involved. Then we try to spin around very quickly, accidentally hit Tuvella and Frank there in the 36, got on top of the 36 car there. And then as we come across the line, Nelson Stacy's there, and then we just body slam it and keep that precision, and then we rack across the line again there. And then you're going to see the results, and then we're going to move on to the Empire State 200. So now, we're here at the Empire State 200, which would have been the Montgomery Air Base, but we decided to use the Edenville Air Base just so we could somewhat replicate this race. As we have 30 laps here, which would have been 30% of the actual race. Or actually, I think it would have been actually... yeah, it would have been 30% because the real race was 100 laps. But again, as I said before, the last time we will drive this 97 car, in our last race of the video, before we go on to the 1961 Daytona 500 and what really set off our 1962 career, and on after that. There is going to be a couple of races in that part that's going to be lost races. I do have planned 3 races from 65 and 66 combined that I really want to do as lost footage races, but that'll come out whenever I'm able to. Make it 3 wide already in turn 1. Or turn lap 1, and I almost wrecked right there with Gerald Duke. Then lap 7. This was not a win car. Like, this car was not a winnable car. This car, it's gonna end up like the last couple cars that we had, and this was the worst result we had because we didn't finish this race. We got absolutely screwed because of somebody not getting darting out of the way of me. But before that happens, you see us driving here up to 9th. I think we crossed the line in 9th, or 2nd actually, because the rest of the people are pitting. And then you see there Tommy Irwin off the racetrack. He got turned by GC Spencer and went off into the trees. It really went out there. Almost hit the invisible wall of those trees there. So we took a pit stop. We got sent back to 9th. We almost lost it there in one of those corners coming onto the newly paved roadway, or runaway, I would say, or the actual runaway, as we were driving on the taxiways now, or taxi roadways. There, I almost hit a bump made me go off course, which happened to me in practice when I was practicing a couple of laps for this, just to see how hard I could actually push it and see if there's anything I need to change. Because I never drove this track before. I didn't even know this track even existed, but it was perfect enough for my racing, or for this race. So now there we go. We take the lead as Lee Petty pitted there on that last lap. You see him there. Now he's second. I take the lead as we're lapping Joe Weatherly. And upcoming is where we get screwed. So with about, I think it was 3 to go. Yeah, so we're going to cross the line and get 3 to go as we get by Emmanuel here, who I believe was the one that hit us. And you'll see here, it's after we get by the technical part, or this fast part I would say, not technical, fast part, as we would have needed one more pit stop, just splash and go, but we weren't even able to make it to that point. Let's come out to turn 2. And then as we come through turn 3 is where all the ends come loose. We come into turn 3, just too close to the tire barrier, tapped it a little bit, got sent out pretty wide, and then we spun because I guess I got hopped there, and then the manual just ran into us and destroyed our car. And I didn't know I was leaking fluid and fuel, so I eventually ran out there, as you see me there, out of fuel. And then you're gonna see Rex White come around the last corners as he's gonna win the Empire State 200 here at Edenville Air Base, or Montgomery Air Base. As you see Buck Baker in second, Lee Petty third, as he takes the checkered flag. As Ken Johnson gets to stay on whatever lap he is, as he sees the results there in the corner. And as Herman Bean would have gone 5th, and then it would be the 86 and 9, and then the 17.